we focused on, our book is focused on insects, and also with some of these non-insect and arthropods in the book. So what is a true insect? If we look at this inch ant here, it's a picture I took in South Australia. It's about an inch long. It has 3 body parts, a head, thorax, and abdomen. It has 3 pairs of legs, all of them emanate from the thorax. And you can see that's the same pattern here with this Western Australian grasshopper in the picture I took. I added these 2 cartoon characters here from Bug's Life, I think. This is Flick, not a true insect. You can see it only has 2 pairs of legs, and then stupidly it emanates from the abdomen here, so it's not a true insect. When you're going to animate a baddie in a movie, you're going to make it look more like a bug, right? So it has 3 pairs of legs, and it's all spiny like the real one there. But you can see the hind legs are coming out of the abdomen again. Not a true bug. And those people didn't take my course. All right. So we're focusing on the true insects. We're not the first in the province to be fascinated or professionally focused on them. I'm just going to highlight a couple of historical characters for you. The first is Joseph Banks. And when he was a young man, he and a friend circumnavigated the island, went up the coast, and did a natural history collection. And that included 12 insects. So I'm going to say that he's our first formal Newfoundland insect collector. But when he was hanging out in the St. John's Harbor, he met Captain Cook. Captain Cook must have liked him because he invited him to join his circumnavigation of the globe from 1768 to 1771. And that, as the naturalist on that voyage, he became a prominent historical figure in biology. Now, another man who got his start in Newfoundland and went on to greatness, it was a century later, is Philip Henry Goss, born in England, came over to Carbonear when he was 17 years old, worked as a clerk. I think he probably hated the job because he spent most of his time teaching himself about entomology, collecting local insects, and painting them. And he put that together in a book, which was never published, although he went on to be published another 50 books in natural history and became the most prominent or popular science writer of his time. But his first book, Entomologia Terra Nova, never was published, but what this manuscript was his paintings that he did of our local insects. And that book was lost and was discovered probably about 1950 by family members. It's now in Ottawa in the Natural History Museum, so it's only 1 copy. And what we've been working on in the last month or so is to bring this book back for a visit for the first time back to Newfoundland. So watch for an announcement in September when this rare manuscript will come to the Munn Library, and we're going to have an event built around that. Now our book, Stouts, Millers, and Forky-tails, we've heard a little bit about it in the introduction. Represents a lot of the author's expertise, but then we had to expand out of our comfort zone. So this was one that I did. This is the green bottle fly. Some people call it the green ass fly. And so when I'd write a description, and then I try to find something interesting to say about it. And this fly here is important to the field of forensic entomology, which for some maybe it's kind of gross. Even grosser though, is that this fly species is used in maggot therapy. So if you have a wound that becomes infected and necrotized, you can pack these maggots into it, and they'll eat all of that bad tissue and help you heal. So I thought, well, is there a connection to Newfoundland? Because this is what we tried to do with the species that we found. And so you type in maggot therapy, type in Newfoundland, and boom, I found this review paper in the 1990s. And in it, there was an anecdote that there was a elderly widow in Labrador who recalls her grandmother rescuing the hand of a fisherman using maggot therapy. I thought, wow, and I tried to find the author. I couldn't, I failed. And the author said that this was a communication from Susan Felsberg, and I was trying to find out where she is. Maybe she will tell me the name of the widow. And eventually someone said, no, she's passed away. I thought, well, that's too bad. Coincident with that event was CBC Labrador phoned me and asked me to do an on-air interview. And I said, only if I could ask your listeners if anyone knows who this widow is. And they said, yes. Now, here's the thing, though. I told this story again, but I didn't tell the part where I thought she'd passed away. And thankfully, because she was listening to the show. So the interviewer got us in contact, and one of the really nice things for me in this book was finding connections to the province, meeting people, and this was happening tonight.